And I think that I sort of got into this mindset of, I can only do one thing. I can only be comfortable if things are going exactly my way and exactly my comfort zone. And so being in Rwanda has God's been working on that in my heart. Hi, I'm Francis.
And I'm Audrey.
This is our daughter Chloe.
And our son Caleb.
And we're the Sims family. So I grew up just north of Philadelphia in a town called Percy. I lived there my whole life until we moved to Africa. So it was a big transition for me.
And I grew up in East and Central Africa all of my life until university. So I've lived in Kenya, Uganda, and the Democratic Republic of Congo. I felt like God was leading me towards missions, so I chose to go to Eastern Mennonite University because they had an emphasis on global work, so it felt like a good fit, and that's where I met Francis.
Right, so I also went to Eastern Mennonite University. I ended up going there because both of my sisters had gone there, and I heard they had a really good education program, and I kind of felt like God was pulling me towards physical education. I just had this sense when I was in high school that I wanted to use teaching as a way to sort of impact athletes and maybe impact a group of people that oftentimes people might think of them as being troublemakers or rough and tough, but I wanted to sort of speak into that atmosphere and give it let people see another side of athletes and what a good athlete should look like and what sportsmanship looks like, and how the gospel incorporates itself into what people think of a good athlete is, and how we can teach people about Jesus through sports.
So during college we both felt like God was calling us towards missions eventually, but we didn't know when that would be or what that would look like at all. We joined our denomination's missionary development program and started working through courses to prepare us for the mission field. And just a few months after that, a family member sent us a link saying that KICS in Rwanda was looking for a PE teacher.
Yeah, and so this was kind of a aha moment for me. Like Audrey said, we weren't really sure how we were going to incorporate our sense of call to mission with our sense of call to what we thought we were supposed to be doing with our lives. I had never heard of a PE teacher being a missionary, and I knew I wasn't interested in doing something like church planting. And so when Audrey's sister sent us this information about a job teaching at a Christian school cross-culturally that needed a PE teacher, I was just like, wow, everything kind of is falling into place.
So we arrived in Kigali at the end of July in 2017 and have been working at KICS since.
Right. It was interesting because when I first heard about this opportunity to come to KICS and to come to Rwanda, I was like super nervous, super afraid. And as I got closer and closer to the day we were going to leave, the peace just sort of came in waves, and I just got more and more peaceful. And when we arrived, it just started to feel like home really quickly.
Just the community is so great, and people being so friendly with the kids. It's fun for them to get a wide world view. I think that raising your kids in another country gives them a different perspective on life. They get to see things that they wouldn't normally see. That could be anything from giraffes in the game park to the poverty that they see all around them. And our hope is that, the Lord will use that to soften their hearts.
I'm a PE teacher working at KICS. B2THEWORLD is one of the leader agencies involved with the KICS school. And the vision of B2THEWORLD is to kind of impact the world for Christ where there's been trauma or where there has been war, and so kind of bringing healing through education and through Christian education. And that's just been really powerful. That's kind of what I wanted to do, to bring healing through education, and I always wanted to do it from an athletic standpoint, but working at KICS has kind of been a great way to tie those two things together.
And living in this region of Africa for most of my life, I've seen a lot of the effects of war, and so we both really feel like we see the importance of what B2THEWORLD is doing and bringing hope through education to communities and being able to rebuild, that's huge for these communities. So it's really exciting for us to get to be part of that. Francis does that through his teaching, and I feel like I can do that through just being a part of the team and supporting the team in any ways that I can.
I think one of the things that a lot of people wonder about is how are we handling life during these strange COVID restrictions and during kind of all of the fear that was, especially when it first started and we had our first cases here in Rwanda and even in America, when earlier this year there were so many people getting sick and so many people dying. And one of the things that we had to talk about as a family was, are we going to stay in Rwanda or not? God just brought this verse into my heart from Psalm chapter 20. Psalm chapter 20 verse 7 says, "Some trust in chariots and some in horses, but we trust in the name of the Lord our God." We were kind of thinking, oh, if only we can get on one of these flights, then we'll be safe. Or, oh, if only we can get back to America, then we'll feel safe. And this verse I think it was God's way of telling us, we don't have to rely on airplanes or other countries to feel safe. We can trust in the name of the Lord our God. And so we chose to stay here in Rwanda over the summer and to trust that God was going to keep us safe and that God had a plan for how to use us and how to keep our family in His hands, even during this strange time of the pandemic.
I think that this time of COVID all over the world has been teaching a lot of us about trust and just relying on Him. And we're not promised safety, and we're not promised that everything's going to go fine, but we are promised that He's going to be with us, and we have definitely felt the Lord's presence with us through these past months, and we will continue to have His presence with us as we go forward.